partner. Oh, my poor Nellie Gray, they have taken you away. And I'll never see my darling anymore. I am sitting by the river, and I'm weeping all the day. Why you've gone from the old Kentucky shore.
And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. All right. One fish, sound check on Twitch is good. Oh no, I closed down the YouTube. Is that what I, that's not what, there it is. There we go. There we go. Is that what I, that's not what, there it is. There we go. There we go. All right. YouTube is good too. All right, let's is that what I, that's not what, mute that. Happy National Cheese Soufflé Day. It's kind of like a quiche, but different. So anyhow, I think I'm gonna pick up with that outfit I started on Saturday. Neo Showgirl or something like that. I should come up with a cool name for it. And we did I set up a folder for it? I don't know if I got a folder for it yet. Let's let's find out. I think I would be putting this in burlesque in projects. Probably in burlesque if I set it up already. Cyber Showgirl. No, I just saved the file. Cyber Showgirl. Maybe that. Maybe Neo. I don't know. Let's ask ChatGTP. So we're gonna do the ChatGTP thing. So we're looking for some ideas for names for say 12 names for a cyber sci-fi show girl costume. We'll try to keep it Neo Vortex, the Vortex Review, Chrome Hilo, Starflare, Siren. I don't want to use Starflare, Quantum, Velvet, Nova. See, neon. I was thinking something neon. Cyber neon, maybe. So, next step, let's go. Hey, we got an ad. Serves me right for going with free. Um, let's go shopping at Daz, and we'll see if a Cyber Neon something 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 is already over there. Did I not? Okay. Cyber Neon. 39 results. Cyber Hair. Let's stretch this out so we can maybe see the full names. What was I thinking? Let's Cyber Hacker Bedroom, Back Alley, Cyber Hair Kit. So I think Cyber Neon's going to be my winner here. I may add kind of a room to go with it. A simple club, I think. All right, Cyber Neon it is. There we go. So I don't need you anymore. We're gonna put you over there. We're gonna come over back to here. You know what? I'm gonna close all of these. I got way too many. And I have my I got my Outlook open. You know what that means. I'll be back. All right, we're back. I think I got everything closed I didn't want to show on stream. Oh, so I'm going to stick this in the burlesque category. I've been working on the burlesque category a lot recently. The current string outfit is in there. We did a showgirl outfit not too long ago. So we're going to do, so here, let's do new folder, cyber neon. There we go. Put that there. You know, since we're starting this, let's go get our template files. I need a people, I need a runtime, I need a templates. I also need a whip file this time because I didn't, because we started working outside of it. Cyber neon, there we go. Paste. Let's come over here. Let's add a whip folder. All right, let's change the names of this stuff. So down in here, this is going to be Cyber Neon. You know what? I'm going to put a space in there. Okay, Cyber Neon G8. And down in here, we'll do the same thing. Right there, I'll rename you Cyber Neon. In the runtime folder, we got our textures. We're going to rename that to be Cyber Neon. And we'll set up the template. All right. And then what we're going to do is we'll come out here and grab Cyber Showgirl. And we'll move that over to this whip folder. All right. Let's open that up. Let's see where we are. So I think I got most of the outfit blocked out. I think it's a matter of maybe trimming it up, giving it the materials, getting it over into Daz is where we're at now. Yep, so that's good. That's what the outfit's going to be. I'm going to add a neon headdress, and I'm thinking I'm going to put some sort of neon feathers. There'll be these kind of neon shapes that'll come off the backs and kind of come out here, and we'll have one over there, and then we'll have a headpiece that'll kind of fan across, and I kind of have an idea how to do that. But in the meantime, we need to organize this up. So first off, we're gonna start doing materials, and I'm going to end up putting emissive textures on here. I think some sort of like neon bars that we can make emissive is what I'm thinking. It'll kind of run down the middle of these. That I'm just going to call front straps. That I'm going to call mid straps, and we're going to put mid strap trims. That's not going to have a trim because it's too thin. We're going to put trim there and trim there. I think we'll trim up through here. And we'll put a trim here and put a trim here. And I may UV map this so that it doesn't have a seam in the middle. Although I don't think it's going to make a difference. Actually, I would kind of like the seam in the middle. And then maybe I can put a couple of neon stripes on that. And we're going to run stripes. We're not going to, we're not going to use circles. That'll make it look like nipples. I know some people would like that, but I'm not doing that. Anyway, let's line these up. So we're going to, so this really long shape is going to define the top and the bottom of the UV mapping. So we're just kind of get everything in here. And I'm going to move you over there. Move you over there. Yo, Willie. Good evening. Good evening to you too, compadre. The outfit now has a name. It's now Cyber Neon. We're setting up our UVs. There's Mr. Charles. And thank you for that reset, Charles. And I need these to be lined up about there. Lined up like so. I'll take you. I think I got plenty of room. So we just want to make sure that this top tip comes under that. All right, I think that'll be the UV mapping. We're not going to do the actual UV mapping because I still need to do the trims. So we're going to do our trims now. Actually, let's set up our material zones. I'm going to have cups, cup trim, collars, collar trim, body trim, front straps, or yeah, actually this will be mid straps and low straps. And then these won't have trim because they're so small. They're thin, but I'm going to put trim on these. And that'll kind of, hopefully it will line up through there. We'll see how this works out. That will kind of determine where I need to kind of tweak this. Anyhow, let's start putting trim in here. We're going to put trim on that line and that line. And what do you come through? Oh, no, not that line, just these lines on the outside. That's right. Offset is an internal line. We'll do the standard old 5. Looking good. I'm going to cut and sew all of that. This gets the same thing. I'm just going to double check. 12.7. Are you two? 12.7. That's going to work. So those are going to get an internal line. 5. Cut, sew that. And actually up here, let's say suit. Do I want to separate front and back? You know what? I think I will. Suit, front. Copy that. Suit back. Suit rear. If it's mostly in the butt, we call it rear. Yo, it's Daps the Dan. On your way out the door, but saw you went live. Hey, thanks for popping in here, man. It is always a pleasure to see the awesome musician that is Dapster Dan. If you aren't already following the Dapster man, you really should be. Super cool cat. One of those people that makes Twitch special. Thank you for the shout out there, Mr. Charles. So this is going to be rear. That's going to be trim, rear. Or I'm just going to say front trim. You know what? I'm just going to do it this way today. Copy that. That's going to be rear trim. Okay, copy that. Rear. I didn't want to say rear. We'll fix that. Suit. Strap mid. Copy that. Strap mid trim. Copy that. Strap low. strap low trim. This is going to be cup. Cup trim. Okay, collar. And then collar trim. And I think that covers all the material zones or all the surfaces I'm going to want. Color. Okay, now we got to do some more trimming here. That and that. We're gonna put in. No, that's the thin strap. This is the thick strap. That's the one that gets the trim. I'm not putting trim on this strap. Offset is internal line 5. Cut and sew. Yay! All right, moving along. And we're actually almost. So what I want to do is add a little. I actually want this. I'm going to tweak. I'm going to undo that. I want that to line up there. So I have to kind of figure out. You know what I got to do is I got to measure that and then make sure that we come up on this the same amount. I think that's, and then I can run a straight line across that. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to undo our cutting and sewing there. I'm going to actually, because of Control Y. Now, you know what? I'm just going to put 5 on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to add a little do. I want to add a little doohickey in here so that trim kind of comes through like that. So this one's going to be 5. Offset is internal line 5. I'm going to say okay to that. And then I got to put a point right here, and I'm going to drag a line up here, and that needs to match whatever this is, which is 6'4". So I need to put a split point right in here at 6.4. And ideally that should line up right there. Then I'm just going to take a straight line all the way across and cut and sew that. There, that's a better line, right? Means this is a little thicker than this, but I get a nice corner on that. Now I want to put a nice little I want to do a cut and sew on that. And I already know this measurement here is 5 because we set that. And then I got to come over to right about in here and put a 5 in here and draw kind of a, try to get kind of a straight line through that. And do the cut and sew on that. And that'll actually be part of this trim. So split 5. Okay. And I'm just going to eyeball. Kind of eyeball that. Check it how it looks there. Maybe pull that point down just a hair more. I think I moved the whole line though, didn't I? Let's try that again. All right, take you up, bring you down. I like that. We're going to live with that. Cut so that. And then that material is going to become part of this. Almost makes sense to weld that onto here. I'm going to I'm totally going to weld it on there. let's let's do it. And actually, is it weld or merge? It's merge. If I do a merge, that's not what I wanted. I merged that one. Oh, that's supposed to be the. I got the rights. Why am I? If I merge that. With that, I think these are. No. With that? That's better. That gives me more cohesive shape. It's a little weird, but it'll be fine. I do have to nudge this up because now this point's dropped a little bit past. So I'm gonna just nudge you up one. It means I gotta nudge you up one. All right, we're getting there. I've got a couple more trims. We've got some collar trim. Collar trim's gonna get a little. Collar trim has to line up with that right there. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We'll do a little cutout corner to match this. So this inside will just make 5. And cut and sew those. And then what I need to do is just put a little 5 split right there. And we'll do the same thing. I should actually look at what I'm doing just to make sure I haven't gotten insane in the membrane or something. That's a little sharper angle, so we're just going to kind of bring that in a little sharper. That looks about right. I think we can live with that. Cut and sew that. Then I'm going to merge this and this. Excellent. So that gives me a nice smooth point in here. I'm not going to run a seam down the middle. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to merge these together. Yeah. That way I have a nice flat. Let's do that. Nope. All right, there we go. So I got stuff. I should merge the back too. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Never mind. I'm not going to merge them, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to butt them up so they do I actually, or do I want a seam right down the middle? You know what? I think I'm going to have a seam right down the middle. It's in my displacement map. We'll do that. And then I can run two emissive strips down here. And we're going to do kind of lozenges and circles in a kind of a pattern. This is going to be tricky. I can probably do that with a. I've got a new technique for doing interesting UV for using the 3D pen tool in 2D space. I'll probably do that with this. Anyhow, I need to know what that length is right there. That is 6.2. So we want to offset as an internal line. 6.2. So that we match corners there. So we'll cut and sew that. That's the collar. So these can just be 5s because they don't have to line up with anything. And I think that gives me some nice. Yeah. Do that and do that. We'll offset as an internal line. And 5. Okie dokie. Cut and soaky. All right. We're done setting up our trims. Now we just have to. Let's go through real quick and get all of these different colors. rear should say rear trim. This is just sanity check. Unfortunately, this doesn't carry over when I export it. You know what? There's probably a way. It should save it like a material file, right? Actually, I don't think this saves material files with color information. I think it kind of assumes they're a fabric or something. I don't know. I'll look into that. Anyhow, that's good. Apply and close. And everything currently is red. Suit front, which is this strip right here. So let's, I am going to, for my UV maps, I am going to butt these together though. No, I'm not. I want to put a distinct steam in there. Never mind. I changed my mind already. All right, that is the rear. That is the rear. I'm just going to zoom in here. That and that make for the front trim. That and that are the rear trim. What's next? Strap middle. You know what? I'll do them by sides. It'll probably be faster. Strap low. Oh, I don't have strap low trim. We're gonna get rid of you. Trash that. Trash that. And trash that. And trash that. That's what I meant to do. All right, suit cup. Up here. There and there. And we got this and this. Cup trim. Collar. That and that are the collar trim. No, down the other side. Please apply out a pattern. There we go. All right, suit. Strap low. Strap mid trim. All right, we're good. We've got everything assigned. Let's hit save. I've been rigging these things a little bit different than I had in the past. So right now, I'm not going to make a base version anymore. I'm just going to use this, and I've got a trick to do it in DAZ. Although we do still need a Genesis 8 shape. So, and let's just double check something over here in the property editor. Oh yeah, and I still got to do the UV maps. So we're going to come quad optimized. And also, let's just double check. Because the last outfit I did, it had some really goofy mapping that I had to come back and fix. Because I didn't bother to look at the wireframe. So we're going to look at the wireframe. And that's a little wider than I would actually like. So, you know what? We're going to manually... We're just going to... No, where's the thing that does the thing? I probably have the wrong shape. I need to get that out of the way so I can select this line, and then that line, and then distribute internal lines between segments. I think if we do 3, that'll give me... So I need number of offsets. We're going to say 2. And I'll say OK. And see if that gives me nice, neat... That does not give me nice, neat geometry like it's supposed to. It went a little wonky there. I'm going to live with that. Better a little wonky than too long. This isn't too bad. Actually, let me redo. Let's try this again. Let me see what that number was. I wasn't even paying attention. 13.4. I don't want 13.4. We want this to be like at about 10. Is that going to work for me? It's pretty close. It's a little bit better. I'm going to try 9. So we'll do 4, gives me 8. I think that looks nice. We're going to live with that one. And I'll do the same thing over here. I think I can do the same thing. Lines between segments. 7.8. That's pretty close to the 8. That's not too bad. I can live with that. All right, let's close these back up. Oh no, look at that. that is not acceptable. I just got one poly going all the way across that. What the hell? See, this is why I'm checking the... So what we're going to do is we're going to offset internal lines off of this. And I'll do the extend thing. And we'll say 8 on that. And I'm going to see... I think I can do 2 at 9. I think that'll do the trick. Can't sound crazy about that. It's better than it was. Let's try again. If I say 2 at 10, see, that's not too bad. It's a lot cleaner looking up there. I think I can live with that. I'm not unhappy with that just being one row because that's like less than 10. All right, we're just double checking our geometry, making sure we've got sufficient stuff to work with. I think we're good to go. Okay, so I still have to do the UV mapping. Should be a matter of just reset and fit. Say okay. I knew those were going to drive the... I still have a little bit of room. It's okay. Let's hit save on that. We're ready to export this puppy out. Go back to the 2D pattern. You just select everything. File, export, OBJ selected. I'm going to do something really weird here. Cyber Neon Whip. We're going to call this the... I'm just going to call it... Never mind. I'll call it the female shape later. Cyber Neon G9. That Cook's in the way. And I love the way that when I say just export the OBJ selected, it thinks that I also want the avatar, which I didn't select. Why? I don't know. Somebody thought it was important that it was more important to select, save the avatar with just the selected when you choose export OBJ selected. It's like, no. There was a reason I chose export OBJ selected because I just wanted the thing I was selected to be exported, not something else. What the hell? Which one of you, who at Marvelous Designer thought, hey, let's add another extra click that people need to do every time they export now? I'm happy with that. I think that's going to look good. I'm going to make some platform heels to go with this, and I have an idea. They're going to be neon-y, and it's just going to have a simple neon tube that's going to come up, run up here, and then run around the ankle and come back and down. And then we're going to have it's going to be a kind of a high heel with a platform that I'm going to run some neon tubes around. So we're going to do that. I'm going to add a neon tail or neon feathered, a neon, I guess it's a tail, and then we'll add a headdress. Right now, this is good. All right, let's hit save. I'm going to convert it to Genesis, whatchamacallit. I'm going to try the 97 version. Let's try that. But it's the same height, but it's a little thinner, so I'm not sure I'm going to be happy with that when we do the conversion. And so we might fit it to the 100 to see how that looks. And what I mean by that is, here, we'll start with this, and we're going to add you to workspace. And we're going to bring in the Genesis 8 female shape at 97% as a morph target. I changed my morphing frame count to 99, so it moves a little slower. Hopefully it's a little better that way. You know, that's not too slow. So what we're worried about is, and I think this is going to work, I'm worried about it not fitting through the waist properly, and it looks like it's fitting through the waist properly. That's where I would get the bagginess. And the height's about the same, and the chest is okay. So if I wasn't getting, so if this wasn't looking good, I'd try the 100 because it'd be a little bit wider, but then it stretches things out. But I think, you know what? I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to save that out as the, I want to see the wireframe on the avatar. I want to see where that center line is. You know, that center line's hitting my center line. I think I'm good. All right, is good. I'm going to do file, save as project, because I want to save that as the G8 version. Dum, 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 dum. And then we're going to export this file, export obj selected. And I'm over in an avatar folder now. Let's see, whip. There we go. That's better. And save. Did I? Oh, I accidentally have an asterisk in there. That's why it's not saving. And no, avatar. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down because it's probably have eaten all of my VRAM at this point. So we got our saves. I think we're good. I think I'm going to get it set up real quick in DAS. Fingers crossed this goes smooth. Okay, so the new method is I rig the shape for G8 female on just the base. It won't look good, but then we're going to dial it down, load in the shape as a morph target, and then put it back up, and then it should get a good, and then we'll update our base shape with that. Which, of course, with me explaining it makes no sense, but it goes kind of like this. All right, there's our base shape. And we're just going to take in that Genesis 8 shape we made. Boop. Diamond dogs. Diamond drops. Cyber neon. So I'm going to take that. Accept that. I got the wrong one, didn't I? I did. I brought in the Genesis 8 female. Let's try this again. I meant to grab that one right there. Okay, doesn't fit. We know. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead anyhow. Genesis 8. favorite, Cyber Neon. You are a bodysuit type. And I'm just doing this to get the shape to fit the Genesis aid. So what we're going to do is pop over here, and I can't see chat anymore. Not that anything's happening, but just in case. Because you never know. I've seen people use the chat before. Okay, favorites. So we're going to dial in the base feminine shape. Then we're going to load in this again as a morph target. Dial that in. Totally in the wrong folder again. That's okay. I prefer it doing it that way than the way. Oh, nuts, because I had the wrong thing selected. Because half the time when I'm importing, I have the wrong thing or using morph targets. This time we should have the right thing. Open. Accept. Okay, nothing happened because we have to actually dial that in. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. That's the shape we want. And then we'll just restore you back. Now we're going to export you out. I'm just going to double check and make sure we didn't put any, still on base. That's the export. I'm going to call you V2. Save that. Accept that. All right. Reset that back to its base shape. I don't need this in here anymore, so we're going to get rid of that. We'll pop into edit mode real quick, and I'll just delete that out. And now we have this updated shape. So I'm going to load that in, and I'm going to rerun the transfer tool to readjust the everything on this new shape. Actually, I should just load the new shape in and rig that. And then I can load the other one in as the base. Although it should reverse back without me having to touch up the base feminine shape. I'm thinking. Accept. Transfer. Nope. Yep. Okay, type body. Accept that. It does its magic. All right, now we're good to go. I'm gonna do a little bit of work on this before we export it out. One thing, the names are all garbage, or at least the names have all got garbage. Also, I have all of this stuff. We're gonna just delete that. All of these have got this extra poo-poo in it. Actually, would it have saved those? I don't think. Actually, those face groups I don't think would have gotten saved. I saved it out as a figure prop asset. I may not have needed to do that. Because I noticed that in here earlier, but I haven't noticed it ever being saved. Strap low, strap mid, mid trim, and I think we're good on this. Okay, so that part is done. Let's come over here to the scene identifier. So I'm just going to call that Cyber Neon Suit. We're just going to call this Cyber Neon Suit G9. Say accept that. Okay, moving along. We're going to convert to sub D and add the smoothing modifier. In this case, because it's so tight, I'm going to leave it at the default. So there's a couple of options. If I got a really wrinkly, clothy thing that's going to deforce into something different, I would set the base shape to generic. But in this case, because it's a close match, we're going to leave it at base shape matching. All right, I'm going to memorize you. We're getting there. I am going to put D-force on this, but I'm going to set it up so probably it's so tight. The only real area I'm going to have problems with is this. But we're still going to put D-force on it. I think this will end up being officially D-force optional. In the surfaces, into here. All right, hit that D-force button. And I'm probably just going to, what we always do, change that bend stiffness. And I'm going to add a little contraction to it, and we'll see how that works. We'll just set the contraction expansion to like 95 to start with. And if I run that, everything gets a little tighter and sucks up onto the body. I think that'll be good. Okay, let's have it go 20% and see what that does. So I think that may be a little too tight. So that's what I'm thinking. I think the 95 is good, but if 90 might be okay. I think I'm going to leave it at 95. Just give it a little bit of suck. All right, we're good. We're good. Oh, I need to put my generic shader on here. That one right there. There we go. Let's clear the sim. All right, we're ready to save this out. Cyber Neon, people, G9, clothing, me, Cyber Neon suit. Cyber Neon suit, excellent. Product is Cyber Neon. And we're going to call that wardrobe full body. That works for me. Oh no, I haven't added the directory yet. Dang it. Contact library, content directory manager, DAS, add, projects, burlesque, cyber neon. There we go. Select folder and accept. There we go. Oh no, I've lost it. Let's nudge it. Give it a little kick in the pants there. That's better. All right, so we're going to put that right here. There we go. Cyber neon suit. G9. Me product. I gotta type that in. Okay, Cyber Neon Suit G9, full body is good. Accept that. All right, we're going to add our starting adjustment morphs. So this should be good. Let's just do a quick double check here before I throw this away and cry. All right, that is looking good. File, new, and I have you floating around right there, add basic morphs. Would you like the same changes to the scene? Nah, I don't need to. We got our outfit saved over here. We'll also get the G8 version saved, and we'll set this up for Substance Painter. And maybe we can do a little bit of Blender work today. We'll see how we're doing. Ah, lost my cap. Are we there, right? All right, we're there. So basically, I'm going to put that on this bodysuit here. And this is going to transfer all the adjustment morphs I want. And then we'll clean it up in the data folder, reload it, clean up the presentation and the names of the morphs, at which point we will then save it again. And then that I can bring into Genesis 8 and readjust that, but it brings over all my surface settings, and it brings over a lot of the adjustment morphs to start with. Alrighty, what are we doing? I'm going to just load this in without parenting it to. I'm going to parent that to the bodysuit. Right there. Fit to G9 bodysuit. Okay, let's do that. So I think it might be doing its thing. That bodysuit probably could stand to be reworked. Maybe in the next few weeks we'll redo the morphs on the bodysuit. Anyhow, I just want the adjustment morphs in here, so we're just going to save those out. Call you the base, because this is me, this is mine. Put that adjustment there. What do we got over here? You know, I don't know why you guys are over in there. Anyhow, let's just check. That looks like all my adjustment morphs. You got all these loose morphs with bad names. We're going to delete some of those and clean them up. Anyhow, this is all I want to do right now, so save that. I'm just going to open up a new scene without saving this. Nope, don't want to save you. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we good? I think we're good. I'm going to do this. Boom. And we're going to clean this up. All right, edit mode. Let's just select everything and make sure the limits are on. I'm not in edit mode. Okay, edit mode. Actor. Select everything under actor. Limits. Enable limits. All right, back up to here. Grab all of that. I'm going to apply my change color thing. So that changes it. That's moved everything into the proper. Well, not really. It misnames it, and I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. But we can easily set that group. And we're just going to do that. Accept. All right, we're good. Now we're going to take a look at what we want. An actor and adjustment. And we're probably going to delete some of these, but what I need to do is, okay, expand all needs to be renamed because it's got garbage name. Okay, loosen buttocks I don't have a copy of over there, so we'll do this. Loosen collars. Does loosen buttocks do anything? It actually does. Loosen collars doesn't have a duplicate, so we'll use that. Okay, midriff. I got a midriff. I got a neck. Does that thighs do anything? You know what? I don't need to keep the thighs because it just kind of squishes. And I have a morph that does that. And then I have these. All right, let's save this out. Okay, I'm going to delete. Actually, I'm going to leave that open for a minute while we come over here to the data folder. And we'll clean out the morphs we don't need from here. And the ones we're looking for are these things in here. So we're keeping that, we're keeping that, we're keeping that. We're getting rid of midriff, neck tights, and the two waists. Because we have better named versions over here. I think that's good. And now when we load this in, it should just come in with those. I think I'm ready. We're just double checking to make sure that this looks like it's supposed to. So, those are all nice, clean. Looks like somewhat English. Adja side. Other than the fact I abbreviated adjustment. Oh, also I forgot to check. Do I have any morphs in here I don't actually need? And it doesn't look like it, so I think we're good. So I think so. Now we're ready to do the G8 version. Actually, am I? Let me just double check how we're looking on. Mesh smoothing is on, and mesh resolution is set to high. And if I reset that, they stay. Okay, I'm gonna do that. All right, now let's load in a Genesis 8. And we're just going to auto fit it. We have a 97% Genesis 8 shape, so we're going to bring that in, but we're going to have to scale that to the 10,309.3, something like that, percent, which is the fit. So we're going to update the geometry with that. So first things first, we'll just auto fit that. And this doesn't really make a difference because I'm going to run this again anyhow. I think that's fine. All right. So I'm going to update the geometry with the one we have. That one there. Now we can use this. It's scaled a little bit, so when I accept that, it's going to bring up the import box, and we're going to come over here and change that to 309.3. Yeah, I was using the 97%. There we go. So that's a slightly better shape. There were some weird creases and things, and I just smoothed it out to our proper shape. So I think we're good. Oh, I'm going to just rerun the transfer tool on that, right, to kind of just tweak the tweaks, tweak the things. Do I want to do this? No, we're going to do it like this. Yeah. What am I doing? Transfer tool, Genesis 8 female. Well, I got to rename that before I save it. Because right now it says suit G9. And I'm going to do that by looking at this identifier. I can also set the thing in there. So come over here and edit the scene identification. So that's good. This will change to, and these are the same things. I could change that out here, but I also can change a few other things while I'm in here. So that's why I'm popping over to the scene identifier. Right here, content type. We're going to switch that to wearable or wardrobe, full body. Okay, so that should be good. I think this is all good. Let me just check. It should still have it still has the D4 settings left over from before. If we're seeing too much crotch, there's an adjustment for that. And we can slide that around a little bit so we can kind of hide it from the camera. Move it up and down. Oops, too far. Anyhow, all right, we're going to save that. Let me remember to turn you off. I think that's good. I think this is good for the G8 version. Let's run over here to Genesis 8, clothing, me, cyber neon, and stick that right here. Cyber neon, G8, female. And now that's an option because we saved one thing in there before. Look good. Gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna set up the colors and set this up for texturing and substance painter. So we're going to turn off the mesh smoothing. Set that down. I don't think I turned off the mesh smoothing, did I? Because I have to click on that twice because I'm in edit mode. There we go. All right, we're going to save that. Actually, let me give it the wacky colors. All right. We set up our colors that we can use for. I'm not really crazy about that, but we're going to live with it because that's just the way the fabric pulls. Yeah, okay, export you. And we need a new folder for this. This will be the substance. And I'm going to call you Cyber Neon Suit IDs. We're going to overwrite that in just a minute here. Okay, we're going to come. We now need the blender. All right, let's get that in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to have a big plane in here, which will also match the UVs of the suit. And that allows me to use the 2D or the 3D pen as if it's in 2D space. That's a hack I just came up with last week. So we'll try this. So I'm going to try it again. So anyhow, here's the quick hack to use the 3D pen in Substance Painter as if it were a 2D, as if we're working in 2D space. I don't know, somebody else has probably thought of this, but I hadn't. So here we go. Let's import in our suit. Whip. And I'm totally in the wrong folder. Boom. Up, up and away, and then back down, and in here, and Substance, and that's what we just saved with our color IDs already set up and ready to go. And that is looking good. And so what I want to do is I want to get a plane in here. And I'm going to rotate that and just set it off to the side. RX 90 on that. And I'll just move you over here. We'll just scale you down so you're about the same size. And actually with this, I know that my driving, the thing driving the UVs is this part right here. So I'm going to try. So from here down to wherever this ends in the crotch, I'm going to kind of have this. This is probably a little bit larger than it needs to be. And we're just going to set that off to the side. And then we're going to come over here to the UV editing and save that out as a template. I'm going to save that out as I'm going to save it out as 8K. Just for the displacement map purposes. Everything else is going to be 4K. Export UV layout. There we go. And I don't want you here, but I do want, this is nearby to where we are going to go. There's that folder we set up for the template. We'll just put it right there. 8192. 8192. Should be good. Export layout. That's good. So now we're just going to come over here. And look at that. The UV just fills up the whole space. And it's on top of the outfit. So that should be good. I'm going to quickly set this up in Substance now. I do want to play a little bit more in Blender today, and I think I'm going to get a chance to do that. So we're going to export these together. I'm going to leave that white and that big. Yeah, this worked out well last time I did this. I was worried that when I baked the mesh maps, I might have to do this separately without the plane, but it didn't seem to be the case last time I did that, so I should be able to. And I didn't do that right. Let's try this again. So what I want to do is I want to do that. So we do the selected only. Then I'm going to overwrite that. And then we're going to do it again with no materials. And this time we're going to say NM, no materials on this. So I know the difference. I'm going to leave this open in case that doesn't work out the way I think it should. We're going to leave you open. Do that. Oh yeah, happy cheese souffle day. Yay. Open Substance 3D Painter. There we go. I gotta remember to save this right off the bat. I have a bad tendency of not doing that till later. So maybe today I'll remember. New project. Select. Yeah, we're in the CS fold sort, but we don't want to be there. We're going to go to the burlesque. and Cyber Neon, whip, substance, and I need that one, no materials. Create that. There we go. Let's do a save as real quick before I forget. Save as. Is my whip folder right there? Yay. Cyber Neon. Okay, it's saved. And you can't see it there, but you can see there I got my little plane off to the side. So what we're going to do, first things first, we're going to load in that template as a texture. Actually, we'll do that. We'll rotate the text. And that's basically the trick. And then whatever I do here should get mirrored to the appropriate spot over there. Import resource, add resource. And you're over in the template folder. And you're a texture. And I'm just gonna load it in with the project here. And I got my fill here. It's only a color. I'm gonna take you, put you in there, and now you can kind of see how these line up. Excellent. And then if I draw over here, and I'm going to do the pen tool real quick, anything I draw over here gets mirrored onto this. And this is the reason why I'm doing it this way. Boom. We'll grab one of those. I'm just going to grab one of the apparel brushes. We'll just do the classic seam puncture. I'm going to change this out later, but just for demonstration purposes, click, straight line, click, escape. That's over on the other side though, isn't it? There it is, all lined up perfectly, more or less. Did I do that in UVs? It looks like it should be straighter, doesn't it? Oh no, I'm crooked. That's the reason why it's off. It's not that, it's me. Oh, it's because the line's crooked. I was going, that looks a little crooked. Why the hell is that crooked? It's because the freaking pucker is wiggly. Anyhow, that's just the quick way to get those on there. So that's my new trick, using a plane to fake 2D editing with the 3D pen tool. All right, I'm going to save this and we're going to move on to other stuff. And I'm going to clip that out and share that with other people. Anyhow, what are we doing? File. I'm going to hit save and I'm going to come back to this later. Blender, right. I want to work in Blender. I'm going to work on the headdress now. I have kind of an idea, so I'm going to see how this works out. So I kind of want to have a band that's basically kind of like a neon tube that's going to come around and then it's going to go up and over and back and up and over and back and up and over and back and maybe one in the middle. So we'll have like we'll have like 7 things. And then maybe I'll have some that'll go in the middle so I can have 2 colors on it. Is what I'm thinking. Or maybe, yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to try. Okay, I'm going to close you. I'm going to try. There's Blender. And I'm going to get a Genesis. We're going to do it on Genesis 9. This is for Genesis 8. I'm going to just, you know what? We're going to do File, Save As. And we're in the wrong directory, but this is close. That's the directory right there. Cyber Neon. Blend file. Save as. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do the shoes. You know what? I might just steal the soul off of something. And this time, I don't need Marvelous Designer for this because I can just do it all in Blender. Anyhow, I'm going to hide that and that. Why do I have you twice? I don't know. I must have hit a Shift D or something by accident. Let's come back over here. I'm going to load in a Genesis 9. I've already forgotten. What is it? It's just F5, right? Genesis 9. I'm gonna fit this onto the female. Feminine, there we go. I'm gonna start with a cylinder. And I think I'm gonna have it come from here and work its way up, and then we'll start putting the doohickeys up in here. And then I'm gonna convert it to a curve, and we're gonna tube that, is what I'm thinking. So let's Shift A, cylinder. I think I'm going to switch that to a 16. I don't need that top and bottom plane. I'm actually going to not need half of this. So we'll get rid of, and I don't need this all the stuff in the back either. Do that so I can just grab half of this, because we're going to put a mirror modifier on here, because I'm that lazy. Efficient. We're efficient. There we go. Boop. And what I don't need also, I'm only going to have it come to about here, and then we're going to work our way back. So we're going to get rid of the stuff in the back. Actually, I'm going to leave this stuff in the back for right now. And I'm going to put the 3D cursor. Well, you know what? We'll just plop it there for now. And then I can, I want it there. I want it. Oh, I've got stuff selected. Go into the view tool, cursor location. Let's set you to 0. And let's put you at 0 and 0. That's why when I scale, I'm going to scale the 3D cursor. And then I don't need the back anymore, because now I'm scaling to the 3D cursor. I don't need this. So when I do this, and when I scale, that's kind of what I want. That's going to be our starting point right there. And what I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to start plotting shapes in here. I'm going to set you back to median, because I'm done with what I needed the 3D cursor stuff for. Oh no, it's an air quality alert. Dang, it's 94. 94 in May. That's not right. I want this to be at an angle. And this will be 1, 2, 3, and I can do some weird beveling tricks. You know what? I'm going to put that in there. And I'm just going to slide these up and down and leave that one where it is. Too bad I can't. Oh, actually, No, it'll probably, I probably have to, I probably best to do it this way. Here is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to take you up there and so I want to kind of angle these. Well, I want to angle this one and then this one not as much. And then this one a little bit less. And then we come up to the center. And I'm just going to retweak these so they line up like so. And that one's probably fine. And then what I think I can do is I'm going to do a weird bevel, stupid bevel trick. Let's see how this works. I'm going to manually cut that one in, but this one, because I want kind of this extra, sort of like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around, I'm going to delete everything except these lines that are going to go around through here. And I'm going to round these out. And I want to put a little bit more right there. We're just going to straighten that up like so. It's probably going to be good. Actually, I can probably bring that. That'll probably be fine. Okay, now to get rid of all the stuff I don't want. So I'm just going to delete. I'm going to do this in baby steps. Delete edges there. I think I can just get rid of these. I can just get rid of these faces. That's the easy thing to do. Boop, 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 boop. Just do this. I think. See, that kind of leaves that. Okay. Oh, I lost that. I'll have to come back and add that back in. What if I get rid of you guys? And then if I get rid of those. And that leaves these. Then I have to do some connections. We're going to convert this into a curve is where we're heading. Okay, then I just need to do some reconnecting. Did I not? Oh, you know, I can just, I'm in the wrong. And I don't need you. Okay, I think we're good. Those out a little bit better. Maybe make these a little bit sharper. I'm going to add some simple. I think I'm going to dupe this because I'm going to use it later on for filling, adding something to the middle of those. Or maybe I should just, yeah, Shift D that. And I'm going to kind of just position that in the middle. Bring that through there. extrude. I'm just going to kind of try to line those up inside the middle of those, but I don't need these. Can I just dissolve those? Or just, there we go. That's what I wanted. That's not too bad. You're a little off, aren't you? Where you go, little fella? All right, let's see if we can turn that into neon. These shapes might be a little weird. I don't know if I'm going to clean them up or not. It's a little... I might be able to clean them up. Oh, I still want to do a little bit of point rounding. Is it Control Shift B? I don't know. I forget. There's like bevel vertices. It is Control Shift B. Okay. Control Shift B. So I can kind of give that a little bit more shape. And maybe we'll do Control Shift B on those. And maybe a little smoothing out on this. Might be good. All right, let's do a dupe on that. And then I'm going to call that a neon headpiece. Neon headpiece. All right, let's now comes the magic. Convert to curve. Come in here into the curve thing. Look at the geometry. I'm going to set that to 0.002 to start with. I didn't see anything 0.002. My numlock's off. So it's going to be, see, kind of like that. Kind of like that. Well, I do kind of want it to be a little smoother. Is it just we tab in and select everything and set spline type to Bezier and set handle type to automatic. That's a little too much smoothing. So I have to do some, so these are fine through here. I'm not going to touch those. So can I just control all of those. And I think I want to add some extra points in here to help constrain things. So I'll probably like add on all the straights. I'm going to just add a couple of constrainment points. So let me see if I can do a bunch of these at once. Did my mirroring go away? My mirroring went away. I'm going to have to delete this. We'll put the mirroring back on. Well, we're going to delete half of it. I want it straight there. And these I'm going to, and I want to put a split right there. Okay. Do we have sub to V? Sub to V? Subdivide. And then subdivide. And then I'm going to get rid of the middle points. Kind of like that. And then, you know what? I don't need those, and that one I want. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh, hold on a second. And we're back. All right, can we dissolve vertices like that? I think that's good. Okay, now let's see if we... Oh, this is... Did I subdivide? I did subdivide that. I don't need it. I don't think I need that subdivide. Okay, now let's... There's a Control L, gets all the selected. And now we're going to switch the handle type to automatic. It's probably good. So that smoothed it out a little bit. I got to do some manually tweaking there. Kind of happy with that because you can see these nice. Although maybe, what if I just get rid of those? No, that's... See, it's still a little wonky, isn't it? And I'm going to cap those off with something. I don't want to actually manually cap those because I'm lazy. All right, we're All right, we're back. I'm not actually all the way back, am I? There we go. Yeah, you're not as smooth as I want. Do you get any better if I... and then you get crooked. That's the problem. You know what? I can probably just, I can fix that one. I didn't want that. All right, we're back. No, not quite. There we go. We're back. What time is it? I got 14 minutes. I think I'm going to get rid of you. And we'll just move you over this way. And you, we're just going to make nice and flat. And you... Can I just align those? I guess not. Is there a way to... Would be nice to be able... You know, maybe if I scale the handles down... Because there might be a handle type... I don't want that. That was bad. You know, maybe I just manually eyeball this. Wish there was a way that I could get that nice and smooth. I thought I was close, but then these handles just aren't quite cooperating. See, that's pretty good. That one I can probably lose. Is there a way to even these out? That's what I really want to know. Do you know the line doesn't do what I think it does? Ah. Recalculate handle. Nope. Set spline type. Bezier. I keep thinking something in here. Maybe if I move you and then run automatic. Nope. Get rid of those. Bring you down around here. Get rid of you. Line you up better. Get rid of maybe those. Line you up better. I like that. Almost. That's better. Let's try losing those two. Set you to try to be straighter. Not too bad. That one. Because you're too far down. Get rid of those. Move you out. That I don't need. Now I have to fix you. That I'm happy with. All right, moving along. You I don't need. You I can. You're probably longer than you need to be. Or you know what? I like that. And then we can just lose everything to the other side. Can I just delete you all? How do I put a break in here? I need to put a break right there. There's like a split or something, right? Split. Did that do it? Did that actually do what I wanted to do? It did not. It left an extra point in there. Oh, I know. I remember how to do this. We select 2 on a segment, and then we can delete the segment, right? Dissolve the segment. There we go. And then I can come over here and do the same thing with this. And then I think that separates those out, so I can get rid of these. And then I don't need, I can just delete those. I'm getting there. And I just want to clean up these so that they intersect with each other. I'm going to probably manually tweak that up. That's a nasty. Why are you? Because you're not lining up properly, are you? Because you've got, oh, because you're probably a split like that. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just add, I want to sub D these. I don't want to, actually, I don't want to, I got to do them baby steps. So we're going to put a sub D on that. Sub D on that. Sub D on this. And a sub D on this. And then I can delete this segment. And delete this segment. And delete this segment. And delete this segment. So are you, and then what, just merge? So I got 2 of them there. Can I merge those together? So maybe I delete this segment here. Nope, that didn't work because I have the wrong 2 points selected. Now can I delete a segment? There we go. And then can I connect you to, that would have, there we go. Look at that. It's pretty. Where are you? Do I have to fix you? No, I don't have to fix you. Because you're fine. You I have to move this way. And you can come this way. And You come this way. And I look at you on the side here. And now what I need to do is kind of weld these together. Why are you not? Oh, because you're not. So I'm going to do that, and then we can do the thing handle type automatic to make those all nice and roundy. And then this I'm going to just flatten out like so. We're getting there. This I can hide. And then you're going to end up being... I only need half of this, so I'm going to rework that. And then what I need to do is I put a little round caps on the ends of all of these. And then I don't think I really want to leave, or maybe I'll leave those like that. Maybe that's not too bad. So at this point, I'm going to maybe make a copy of this. And oh, you are ugly with a capital UG. Oh, that's probably going to, it gets a little tighter in there. I think that's what my problem is. What if I just get rid of you and smooth you out? And just kind of tweak you into place like that. Probably okay. All right, I'm going to convert this to a mesh. So we're going to dupe that. Come over here, convert to mesh. Hide this. Look at it from the front. Get rid of this half right through there, I think. And I missed. I wanted to go all the way down to about maybe there. I'm going to fix this after we do our mirror. And we'll put you... You're at 0. Okay, good. I might manually clean this up. And I just did the wrong thing. And you're at 0, so that's good. You're at 0. So that's good. So all of that. And actually, are you... Did I already get this one? I did. So now when I put the mirror on, it should be fine. And what we're going to do with this, I'm just going to manually... We'll just put one of those on there. We'll just bevel that so it rounds out like that. And then we'll just do an inset and a close. like that, and then we'll just merge center. So I'm going to do that on all the open ends. And it is 4 o'clock, so I think I'm going to call it a day right there. The neon crown is in process for the neon showgirl outfit. We have it set up in Substance. We've got it set up in Daz to begin with. We're going to add a crown, we're going to add a tail, and we're going to add shoes to this. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If there's anybody there, Charles may be lurking. Napsmore may be hiding in the background somewhere. You never know with that Napsmore. Hey, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be cool. If you're on Twitch, stick around. We're going to go find somebody to raid. I got 2 watching right now. Let me see who is on Twitch today. That's YouTube. I got 2 watching on YouTube. Oh, now I got 1 on YouTube. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, we got 5 on Twitch. Let's find somebody over on Twitch to go say hi with. Supreme Doom, is she still on? Nope, she is. I think, is she off? I can't tell. She's offline. All right. Bronto Saver's on. We're going to go hang out with Bronto Saver. There we go. Sally Quinn's on. We're going to go hang out with Bronto Saver, though. So stick around for the raid. I still haven't got the raid calls working. Or no, wait. I got the raid calls working. I don't have the discard command working. It helps if I spell raid, though, doesn't it? So if you're not a sub, use that. If you are a sub, use that. And let's go over and say hi to Bronto Saver. She is portfolio work continues. Watercolor and coloring pencils in a still life setting. Working through a reference, part 2. She's doing lemons today. So stick around for that if you can. That would be super cool. I will be back tomorrow night. Maybe more of this outfit. We'll see. The stringy outfit, which I'm calling Diamond Drops, is getting close to being done. I still have to do some special morphs and start doing promos for that. So that's underway. Targeting getting that submitted at least by Wednesday. Probably Wednesday at the earliest. And then this shouldn't be that far behind, because I'm already in some pretty good shape with this. Anywho, let's do this. /raid. I want to copy and save because I can't spell. Control C, Bronto Saver, Control V. We're going to do that. And hey, I hope you'll have a good rest of a Monday or a Tuesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.